FM Talk 95.7, AM 600 Kogo. Welcome to My Home Improvement, San Diego's source for everything the proud homeowner needs to make your house a dream home. I'm your host, Clint August, with my co-host and pal, Dana Logsdon. Good morning, sir.
Welcome back, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, we had a very fun first segment. I have to say this, okay? Now I'm always excited about guests that we have in studio.
She helps you move your real estate, which is a great fit for contractors.
My goodness, you could literally come in here and just be like, I just want to hang out, and I'd be like, okay, come on, just hang out. Welcome to the studio, and you specifically for what you do. Come in near and dear to my heart because we wanted to save our home, Carrie, and I know that with the Lotus Realty Group, you specialize in, let's start with that. Tell us exactly what you do with your company.
Thanks for having me, Clint. My name is Carrie Jolie, Lotus Realty Group. We specialize in short sales. Over the years, obviously with the subprime crash, there's been a lot of homeowners that have been hit hard, not so much just with the unemployment rate, but obviously that follows not being able to pay your mortgage as well eventually. So we're in the market right now with a lot of people that are suffering. So we've created a really great platform to help homeowners short sell their property and get out from underneath that mess.
Okay, now first of all, I love it when an expert, especially one that we recommend, again, honest, reliable, extremely good at what you do, read up on your company, but it's also a bonus when someone, and pardon me, looks like you.
Oh, you're sweet.
I have to ask you this question in all fairness to other men. I've been in sales before, and let me say this. Let's just take away your expertise. You just start in the business against Joe Schmo, who looks like me, a guy, any guy. Don't you have the advantage because a lot of people want to talk to a sweet lady who is good at her job, and if you're a guy, it's a bonus, right?
If you're a guy, it's a bonus?
Yes.
Well, you know what? In this industry...
Meaning me. I'm the guy, and I want to talk to a female like you.
In this industry, I'll tell you what, it really has nothing to do about your looks, quite honestly. You really have to know your content, because there's so much competition out there, and if you don't know your stuff, there's so many people that are going through a lot of hard times, and they don't know who they can trust. So it's going to take a lot more than a pretty face to get their attention.
Just put me in my
place.
Well,
no, what she's saying, Clint, is you could actually get a job with her because you're not a pretty face. So she's saying you have options now, buddy.
We were in the middle of a short sale because of unemployment a couple of years ago. That's what started this process where I couldn't afford the mortgage. And then, of course, the credit gets ruined. So even though now we could financially afford it, we can't catch up. We just cannot catch up on this particular home. Okay. So we pulled out of the short sale about 8 months ago. And that's just a whole big mess that happened. And I tried to save the home one last shot. Found out that I couldn't do it. So we are now interested in getting back in the process of short selling again. Do you think they're even going to approve me, or do you need a lot more information to even answer that?
Right now, especially, we've been in this market now for almost pushing 4 years, and there's a lot of short sales and foreclosures that are hitting the market. The banks would rather short sell than foreclose because they're going to lose 30 to 40% more in a foreclosure than they will a short sale. It doesn't matter if you stopped or started. It just matters if you follow through with it at this stage moving forward. Right now, the banks have streamlined their process. They're actually even offering incentives to homeowners to short sell their property. So, there's always, a pre-qualification process. I would have to know all the bits and pieces of information, meaning exactly how many months delinquent you are, if you're delinquent, the hardship in general. There's a lot of moving parts, but more than likely, I do not foresee a problem with you being able to get that to go through. As long as the listing agent that is working with you on that, has experience in short sales and is able to see that through to the end, because there are so many moving parts, and if you miss one thing, which most likely will happen on the listing agent's side, then you could be done.
I always wanted to get into a bigger place, but I didn't want to sell it. I wanted to rent it. So emotionally, I'm attached to this place.
Now, were they actually born in the house, Clint, or were they just brought to the house after they were born?
We had a midwife, too.
Okay, cool. That's cool. That's what big money does.
But there's still the emotion attached to it. You know what I mean?
I just want to clarify, because Lori needs to know these things.
Would you, pal?
The bottom line is a short sale versus foreclosure. Foreclosure is going to take you 5 to 7 years to be able to buy a house again. A short sale is 18 to 24 months.
It's that fast?
That fast. And the only thing that's really damaging your credit is the period of missed payments. So my thing is this, even though that you might have the emotional attachment to this home, I'd like you to consider the fact that if you can get out of this mess now, repair your credit, 18 to 24 months, you could get into a better situation, a home that's appreciating in value, and it might be better than where you were.
Let's just say it doesn't go through. My next concern is that no matter what, foreclosure or I hand the keys in, whatever, I need this done by the end of the year, right? Because the tax exemption for the $110,000 that were upside down. That ends after this year, does it not?
It was originated in 2007, which basically states that if you do a short sale, the cancellation of debt will not be taxed as income. So that does expire at the end of this year, and there has been some talk that they're going to extend it. However, there's nothing in writing, so you would have to move now.
It's scary.
It is, and people in this position, Clint, just like you're saying, it's a horrific position to be in, a terrible feeling. Do they call you, Carrie? Do they email you? How do we get this whole ball rolling? How do you know that you're in the position where they need you?
Well, here's the thing too, and let's take it a step further. Most people that are contacting a homeowner that's going into default is going to promise a lot of things, especially if they're not necessarily 100%, up to speed on short sales. There is a series of questions that you have to ask a homeowner in default to pre-qualify them. One of the biggest problems out there is listing agents are taking on short sales that don't make sense. So everybody loses because the process can take up to 6 months. So
and everyone's an expert.
Everyone's an expert. So here's the thing: if a homeowner is not being asked by a listing agent at least 20 to 25 key questions, then they're not with the right person. If you call us up, there's going to be a thorough qualification process, and we'll tell you the truth because there's more than one option for a homeowner that's facing foreclosure. So we want to go over all the options and then help them to determine which one best fits their goals.
Now, is that a phone interview, or do they have to come into your office, Carrie? Do they email you a sheet? How do we start this whole process?
What we prefer is to come in, because you have to really meet the people that you're working with. Even if it's just a pre-qualification process, maybe eye-to-eye contact, one-on-one, we're going to be able to, if we can't help you, point you in the right direction. So we would prefer that they come into the office and have a
Let's just say I'm real busy. How much time do I need to set aside to meet with you?
15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, that's reasonable, Clint.
Okay, yes, and they can contact you directly at Carrie@LotusRealtyGroup.com. You can also go on the website LotusRealtyGroup.com.
Or My Home Improvement.
I was just going to say, it's very easy to find professionals like yourself on MyHomeImprovement.com. Is it like 22% of homeowners are in either a short sale, a foreclosure, or the process of trying to remodify their loan?
It's climbing. It's a lot higher than that. I couldn't give you an actual
It's
percentage,
higher
but it is
than
definitely
that.
higher.
That's terrible.
See, what you have to understand is 2 years ago there was a robo-signing scandal. Okay, so the financial institutions
Robo-signing scandal?
Robo-signing scandal. So basically what was happening was lenders were foreclosing on homes without all of the proper paperwork to process it. So they put a halt, right? So all of those people that were already defaulting on their mortgage, they weren't getting notice of defaults because they had to put a halt to that until they worked out all of the current paperwork. So now 2 years later, they're starting to revamp that again. And we've got 6 million people out there that are either headed for foreclosure, ready to miss a payment, or have already missed a payment.
The thing is, I went through where I talked to 6, 7 different people who didn't even know that one person I spoke to the day before told me, you can't make payments right now, you're too far behind, I can't even accept them. Well, then I have the bank calling me the next day with another person going, hey, do you plan on making payments? This is an attempt to collect a debt. And I'm like, well, yeah, I would have if I wasn't told yesterday. I'm too late. I can't do it. So someone like you, someone who has your field of expertise, who specializes in this process, the modification, the short sale, to take you through the whole thing, to basically hold my hand through this. That's what I want, and I know a lot of you want that as well out there. So it's really great that you specialize in this.
The lenders are going to constantly call, regardless if you're working with someone in a short sale or not, or a loan modification, because every department, collections, there's so many different departments that have your information once you go delinquent. So you're going to be bombarded with a ton of phone calls. And my advice for people that are either working with an agent, because even when you're working with an agent on a short sale, you're still going to get those phone calls. So instead of going through all that emotional turmoil, having people like us to be able to handle that can say, while we're helping you, don't answer the phone, because it's just going to be overwhelming for you if you've got all these phone calls and one person's telling you one thing and another's explaining you have to do this. It just gets confusing after a while.
Now, we do have a lot of callers calling in, Clint. So
yeah, I've never
segment,
seen the phones light up.
We're going to have Carrie answer a lot of your questions, so just be patient. I know you're in line, and we got a lot of people calling in, so be patient with that.
You're very wanted, Carrie.
Well,
All right, we'll be back with Carrie Drolet from the Lotus Realty Group, FM Talk 95.7, AM 600, Kogo.